The partition of British Raj brought with it economic and social discrimination, the first democratic election, then its failure, and a non-cooperation movement. West Pakistan had finally decided to conduct Operation Searchlight with the main intention to control the masses. March 25th, 11:30 p.m. The operation began. The main objectives were to weaken the police and infantry, secure control over a number of provinces, destroy properties, and arrest or neutralize intellectuals. A complete capture of Dhaka. An estimated 7,000 people had been killed and 3,000 more arrested in that night. 12:20 a.m. Sheikh Mujib, seeing this unprecedented crackdown, declares independence through a telegram. This may be my last message. From today, Bangladesh is independent. Your fight must go on until the last soldier is expelled. And so, war was declared. The telegram was sent to Chittagong, where Muhammad Abdul Hanan and Major Ziaur Rahman broadcasted the message on radio. At 1:15 a.m., Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is arrested for the crime of treason and taken to jail in Rawalpindi, West Pakistan. The initial resistance was disorganized and uncoordinated. It consisted of common folks with sticks alongside some of the infantry. This was all that was contained in the nascent Mukti Bahini. 31st March, 10:30 p.m. The Mukti Bahini launched its first mass campaign to capture Kushtia, 5,000 of them against the 147 troops of the Pakistani army. Although 73 troops were killed and Kushtia was captured, it came at the cost of around 50 to 70 Mukti Bahinis being killed and 500 more being captured or disarmed. On the 2nd of April, the Razakar paramilitia planned the killing of civilians in Jinjira. Beside a pond, 60 people were lined up and shot. An estimated 3,000 people, especially Hindus, were killed in 9 hours. From the 1960s and 1970s, the United States saw Pakistan as one of its greatest allies and provided massive military aid before and throughout the war. Archer Blood, the last American consul general to Dhaka, sent what's now called the Blood Telegram, protesting against the atrocities committed. Our government has failed to denounce the suppression of democracy. Our government has failed to denounce the atrocities. Our government has evidenced what many will consider moral bankruptcy. President Richard Nixon and Secretary of State Henry Kissinger recalled him from that position since his opposition went against their hopes of using West Pakistan to counter the power of the Soviet Union, especially because the neighboring India was seen as a threat for his relationships with the Soviets. From the 27th of March and onwards, more than 10 million refugees went to India to seek protection, immensely hurting India's economy. On the 8th of April, the Pakistani army captured the Rangamari-Mahalshari waterway with only 7 speedboats and 2 launches. About 100 Mukti Bahinis were killed. Coordination and organization of the Mukti Bahinis was needed more than ever. On the 10th of April, a provisional government started operating from Kolkata. Syed Nazrul Islam was made the interim president, with Tajuddin Ahmed as the prime minister. They collaborated with India to send military aid as well as training to the Mukti Bahini. They utilized the Shadhin Bangla Bitar Kendra as a means for communication and broadcasted music to increase the morale of Bengali people. India still needed to be careful, lest they be seen as meddling in Pakistan's affairs. The Mukti Bahini mainly utilized guerrilla tactics, especially divide and conquer. Bangladesh was split into 11 sectors to make intelligence more effective. And so, on the 25th of April, Operation Jackpot was greenlit, a codename for 3 operations undertaken by the Mukti Bahini. Their objectives were to send an increased number of trained fighters to attack and sabotage military and economic assets like factories and firms to slow down Pakistan and demoralize Pakistani soldiers by disrupting their logistic networks. Lasting up to 15th August, it was a strategic victory for the Mukti Bahini. However, in the meantime, a number of other events and battles occurred. And on the 5th of May, Gopalpur, Chuknagar and Dakra saw many more bloody massacres by the Pakistani army, especially on unarmed refugees. Multiple battles, victories and losses. On the 1st of August, the Beatles even did a concert for spreading awareness. Fast forward to 4 months. These are the battles that happened only in this time frame. As the relationship between US and China was getting stronger with Pakistan, India signs the Indo-Soviet Treaty on 7th August, still considered by many historians as one of the most brilliant decisions. The total death toll of Bangladesh rose over 300,000, with some sources even going beyond 3 million. But this progress of Pakistan army will come to a halt when they decide to conduct Operation Genghis Khan in the 3rd of December. This was a devastating mistake because India's response will now be seen as a defense, and so India declares war. West Pakistan saw victories in the initial stages, but were soon overcome. Back to Bangladesh. In response to the liberation of major locations, the US Navy relocates its strike group containing the USS Enterprise to the Bay of Bengal to intimidate the Indian Navy. 13th of December, The Soviet Navy retaliates by deploying a group of warships to counter Enterprise in case the US tries to intervene. In just 13 days, Bangladesh saw a surge in victories with the active support of the Indian Army. As the war neared its end and the surrender became apparent, the Pakistani army made a final effort to eliminate the intelligentsia of the new nation. The Al-Badr paramilitia with the Pakistani army executed nearly 1,000 intellectuals in different parts of Bangladesh. Just 2 days later, Indian army captured Dhaka to finally pursue its surrender in the Dhaka Racecourse Maidan, the very place where Sheikh Mujib had declared independence on the 7th of March. Here, on 16 December 1971 at 4:31 p.m., Pakistan surrenders.